The strange part was not that the date went well. The strange part was that I could not enjoy it afterward. You would think after months of disappointing dates, I would finally be excited. Instead, I was terrified. I met Alex at a small coffee shop on a rainy Saturday afternoon. The conversation started easily. No awkward pauses. No rehearsed questions. No trying to impress each other. Within 20 minutes, we were talking about childhood memories, favorite places we had traveled, embarrassing stories from university, and the weird habits we had picked up during lockdown. Hours disappeared. The cafe closed around us. Neither of us had noticed. When we finally walked outside, it had already gotten dark. Alex smiled. I had a really good time. I would love to see you again. I smiled back. So would I. It felt genuine. Not forced. Not dramatic. Just easy. For the first time in a long time, I thought, maybe this is what dating is supposed to feel like. Then I got home. And everything changed. I checked my phone. Nothing. Of course there was nothing. We had only said goodbye 15 minutes ago. But I checked anyway. 5 minutes later. Again. 10 minutes later. Again. I started replaying every moment. Did I talk too much? Did I interrupt? Did they actually laugh because something was funny? Or because they were being polite? When I hugged them goodbye? Or did they hesitate? Maybe they only said they wanted another date, because that is what polite people say. Maybe they realized afterward they were not interested. Maybe they regretted meeting me. By midnight, I had convinced myself the date had actually gone terribly, even though there was not a single piece of evidence. The next morning, there was a message. I had such a great time yesterday. I'd love to plan something next week. Normal people probably smiled. I stared at it. Then I overanalyzed the message. Was the smiley face enthusiastic enough? Why didn't they send it sooner? Why did they say next week instead of suggesting a day? Maybe they were not actually interested. Maybe I was becoming a backup option. I hated that my brain worked like this. Because logically, I knew none of it made sense. Emotionally, it felt completely real. Over the next few days, something clicked. This was not actually about Alex. I had barely known Alex. How could I possibly be this attached after one date? The anxiety was not about losing someone. It was about uncertainty. I realized something uncomfortable. Every previous relationship I had been in had followed the same pattern. Someone became distant. I would panic. I would work harder. Text more. Overthink more. Try harder. Somewhere along the way, my brain had learned something dangerous. Uncertainty equals danger. So even when someone liked me, my nervous system could not tell the difference. The better the date felt, the more anxious I became. Because suddenly, there was something to lose. For years I thought anxiety after dating meant I really liked someone. Now I wonder if sometimes it means I finally care enough to be afraid. Those are not the same thing. The biggest surprise came on the second date. I expected my anxiety to disappear. Instead, I told Alex something. I have to admit something weird. I tend to overthink after dates. I've probably imagined 12 different reasons you secretly changed your mind. Alex laughed. Not at me. With understanding. I almost cancelled today's date. I convinced myself you were just being nice. We both sat there for a second, realizing we had spent the same week inventing opposite stories. That conversation changed everything. Not because the anxiety disappeared overnight. It did not. But because I stopped treating every anxious thought like evidence. Sometimes anxiety is just anxiety. Not intuition. Not a hidden truth. Not a prediction of what is about to happen. Just an alarm system reacting to uncertainty. Looking back, the first date was not the beginning of a relationship. It was the beginning of understanding myself. And maybe that is why it mattered so much. Not because I found the right person, but because I finally realized that a calm relationship can still trigger an anxious mind. Sometimes, the hardest part of dating is not finding someone who likes you. It is believing you do not have to earn it every single day. If you have ever walked away from a great first date, feeling more anxious than excited, you are not alone. Sometimes the date went well. The conversation was real. The connection was genuine. The only thing creating distance afterward was fear.